I'm here at a special place on Berlin's Tucholskystraße. Today it's the seat of the Central Council of Jews in Germany, but for many years it was a rabbinical seminary, until it was closed down by the Nazis in 1942. Today, young people are again training to be rabbis in Germany. I wonder how they feel as Jews in the country that carried out the Holocaust. I drive to Potsdam, to the Gaiger College. Konstantin Pahl and his fellow students are doing their theoretical rabbinical studies here. Today they're learning about Jewish holidays, like Sukkot and Hanukkah, which is coming up soon. In 1 or 2 years, Konstantin will lead the ceremony as a rabbi. He tells me he first wanted to be a teacher.
And then eventually that turned into a desire to be a rabbi, which is in effect also a teacher, one who instructs the congregation. But he also accompanies it and helps shape it, and is the spiritual leader of a congregation.
Why do you want to be a rabbi in Germany?
Because I live in Germany. I grew up here and have spent the greater part of my life here. And I believe that Germany currently has a great need for rabbis. And I can't imagine working anywhere else.
Konstantin and I visit his old school. It's been a few years since he was here. And it's a happy reunion.
Hello. I hardly recognized you.
I think he already looks like a religion teacher.
When Konstantin was a child, he came to Berlin from Moscow with his parents, as did tens of thousands of other Russian Jews. These immigrants increased the Jewish population in Germany to more than 100,000, and that influenced the Jewish community here.
The picture's changing. It's no longer this sort of closed-off community life that said, we're here and over there is the rest of society, and we'd better not even talk to them outside. There's a sort of dialogue in which both the Jewish community and German society at large are opening up. The rest of society is realizing that Jews live in Germany, real live Jews, and that there is again Jewish life here.
Yevgeny Plyukhin also hopes to become a rabbi. But he's new in the country and first has to learn German. Yevgeny's been here for 5 months now. He studied energy technology in Russia because his mother encouraged him to get a secular education in order to have a fallback career.
She said, once you've learned your first career, and after 5 years at a Russian university, then you can go study the Torah. Do what you want. I'm very happy. I'll wait for you. Please phone me often.
Ruf mich oft an, bitte.
Yevgeny has also lived in Israel. He could have become a rabbi there, but he has relatives in Germany, and he wanted to study Reform Judaism.
Germany is the home of Reform Judaism. And where better to study Reform Judaism but in Germany?
After his German class, Yevgeny goes to the Rabbinical College. In keeping with the philosophy of its namesake, Abraham Geiger, Reform Judaism is taught here. Among other things, that means that women may study here as well. Each student needs a letter of recommendation from a rabbi to study here and has to pass an admissions interview.
It was like having a conversation. We found something in common, sought and found it.
I'm not the only journalist wanting to speak with Geiger College students or with its director, Rabbi Homolka. The focus of attention is the graduation of the first students. On September 13, 2006, 3 graduates of the Gaiger College took up positions as rabbis, the first ordinations in Germany since the Holocaust. It was a historical moment. In Dresden's synagogue, some 140 journalists watched as new rabbis were ordained.
In the days before the ordinations, there were 3 or 4 television cameras shooting in these rather small offices. And our students were asked to wander around Berlin as naturally as possible and tell their stories. That nearly overwhelmed them. They had other things on their minds, intellectually. And then their families were visiting. And they were running around all the time.
I too observe the students as they concentrate on their lesson. This time, it's Hebrew class. Most rabbis working in German congregations come from the United States or Israel. So why do we need German rabbis?
There's the language aspect, the fact that they speak German and, in my case, Russian. The community here speaks German and Russian. And that's the first and the most important aspect. A lot is expressed through language. And if you speak somebody else's language, well, you can work with them better. But there is also the mentality, the European or German mentality. Someone from America doesn't have that.
This is the last of 6 classes today. The students are doing variations on a Sabbath song. Not all of these students will one day work in Germany as rabbis. The Gaiger College trains rabbis for all of Central and Eastern Europe.
I don't know what I want. Right now, I'd rather work in Russia. I'm more familiar with the problems there, with the advantages and the drawbacks. And I have a better idea of how the Jewish community in Russia can develop.
At the end of the day, I travel through the city of Berlin with Konstantin. He'd like to stay here after his studies, but it's the smaller cities that need rabbis. Only 1 in 4 synagogues in Germany has its own rabbi. Konstantin is looking forward to working with a congregation. And although he doesn't yet know where he'll be working, he does know how he'll work.
I think just as I am. I'll just be myself. I'll be open in my dealings with the people in the congregation.